Konark Sun Temple is located about 35 kilometers northeast of Jagannath Puri in Odisha. A temple whose grandeur and mysterious stories have faded with time. In the year 1903, under the orders of Bengal's Lieutenant Governor J.A. Bordion, the sanctum of this temple was filled with sand to prevent its collapsing structure from falling apart. Today, even after 123 years, this temple remains sealed with its sanctum hiding unknown secrets. But the question arises, why was this done? Think about it. 800 years ago, there was no discovery of cement, nor any trace of modern technology. Yet, how was it possible to construct a marvel like the Konark Sun Temple? A technology was used in this temple that still baffles scientists today. The iron lock system, which kept this massive structure stable. And the most astonishing fact is that the giant wheels of the temple, which moved according to the movement of the sun and the moon, functioned like an ancient time machine. And even today, they show the exact time. But what surprises the most is the idol of Lord Surya. That idol floated in the air without any support. How was this possible? This technique remains an unsolved mystery even for modern engineering and science. At the temple's pinnacle was a 52-ton giant magnet, the force behind this miracle. The question is, where was this magnet brought from? And now, where is it? In the year 2022, the Indian government planned to remove the sand and reopen the sanctum of this temple. But to this day, the work remains incomplete. Is there a secret hidden inside the sanctum that has been kept away from the world? Will we ever find out what lies within this grand structure? This is not just a temple. It is a testimony to the science, art, and culture of ancient India that will leave you in awe. Stay with this story to uncover all these mysteries. Because Konark Sun Temple is not just a structure made of stone, it is the untold saga of ancient India. The year was 1903. Bengal's Lieutenant Governor J.A. Bordion arrived at the Konark Sun Temple with his team. At that time, despite its grandeur, the temple was in a dangerous condition. The walls were filled with cracks, and it seemed as if the weight of time was pushing it down. When the governor saw this magnificent structure, concern was clearly visible in his eyes. This temple, almost 800 years old, could collapse at any moment. There seemed to be no easy way to save it. Looking at this situation, the governor made a bold decision. He ordered that the sanctum of the temple be completely filled with sand and sealed off forever. He believed that the sand would provide support to the structure and prevent it from falling. Back then, technology was limited. This decision was taken as an immediate necessity. But was it the right one? Even today, this question remains a topic of debate among historians and architects. Today, even after 123 years, the Konark Sun Temple remains locked with its hidden secrets. Is there an ancient treasure concealed within the sanctum? Do the inscriptions on its walls hold stories that could take us closer to that era? One thing is certain. As long as these doors remain closed, the temple will stand with its mysteries buried inside. And we can only imagine what lies within by looking at its external beauty. But the question arises, why was this done? What was the reason that this magnificent structure was left untouched and sealed with its secrets? Think about it. 800 years ago, there was no discovery of cement, nor any modern machinery. Then how was such a grand and intricate structure like the Konark Sun Temple even built? At that time, an advanced iron lock system was used in this temple. This system played a crucial role in keeping the structure stable, but the most astonishing feature was its wheels. These wheels were not just decorative elements, they functioned like an ancient time device. Moving in sync with the sun and the moon, they still have the ability to show accurate time even today. But the most unbelievable fact was that inside the sanctum, the idol of Lord Surya remained suspended in the air without any support. This was not magic. It was proof of an extraordinary technology, a technology that remains an unsolved mystery for modern engineering and science. And the greatest enigma was the 52-ton giant magnet placed at the temple's pinnacle. It was this magnet that kept the idol of Lord Surya levitating. But the question is, where did this magnet come from? And now, where has it disappeared? Perhaps the answers to these questions are hidden inside the temple. Or maybe they have been lost in the shadows of history, along with this centuries-old structure. In the year 2022, the Indian government planned to remove the sand and reopen the sanctum of the Konark Sun Temple. This step was taken to uncover the mysteries that have been buried within for centuries. But even today, this work remains unfinished. The question remains, is there something inside the sanctum that has been deliberately kept hidden from the world? Is there something within that could rewrite history? Will we ever know the untold stories hidden inside this grand structure? Is this just a religious site, or an invaluable treasure of ancient Indian science and art that exists beyond time itself? To find answers to all these questions, stay with us in this documentary. Because this is not just a story of a temple, this is proof of ancient India's unparalleled knowledge, science, and incredible artistry. This story will astonish you, inspire you, and take you back to an era where human intellect and creativity made the impossible possible. About 35 kilometers from Puri, Odisha, on the banks of the Chandrabhaga River, stands the Konark Sun Temple. This is not just a temple, it is a magnificent testament to the ancient Indian knowledge, science, and art. Designed in the shape of a colossal chariot of the sun god, this temple, with its 7 horses and 24 wheels, is not just an architectural marvel. It is a living example of astronomical calculations and ancient time-measuring techniques. Recognizing its historical and cultural significance, UNESCO declared it a World Heritage Site in 1984. The Konark Sun Temple is a symbol of India's rich heritage and our ancestors' remarkable technological understanding. But the question is, who built such a grand and advanced temple? To find the answer, we must travel back to the Dwapara Yuga, to the time when Lord Krishna's son Sambh was cursed, and from there begins the first story of the construction of the Sun Temple. Sambh, the son of Lord Krishna and Jambavati, was renowned for his extraordinary beauty and charismatic personality. But this very beauty became his greatest weakness. Slowly, Sambha's arrogance began to grow, and he started considering himself superior to all. Narada Muni, the celestial messenger between gods and humans, entangled Sambh further in the web of his ego. Narada said, "Your beauty is unparalleled. Why don't you go and display it among the gopis?" Blinded by pride, Sambh fell into the trap and went to the gopis. Seeing this, his father, Lord Krishna, was enraged. For this inappropriate act, Krishna cursed Sambh. He declared, "Your beautiful body will now be afflicted with leprosy." The curse took effect immediately. Sambha's body became deformed, covered in painful boils and sores. His suffering was unbearable. Desperate to rid himself of this torment, Sambh sought out various sages. Finally, he met Maharishi Kataka. The sage advised, "You must undertake a rigorous penance to please Lord Surya. Only he can free you from this disease." He instructed Sambh to go to the banks of the Chandrabhaga River and perform penance for 12 years. Sambh obeyed and began his penance by the river. For 12 long years he renounced food and water, dedicating himself entirely to meditation and worship of the sun god. Moved by Sambha's unwavering devotion, Lord Surya finally appeared before him and said, "Sambh, your penance has been successful. I bless you with freedom from your disease. Your leprosy will vanish and your beauty and health will be fully restored." With Surya's divine blessing, Sambh was completely cured. His body became as radiant and healthy as before. Overwhelmed by this miracle, Sambh vowed to express his gratitude by constructing a magnificent temple in honor of Lord Surya. At the very place where he had performed his penance, he built a grand temple dedicated to the sun god. Because of this ancient legend, the site came to be known as Konark, where Kon means direction and Ark means sun. The temple was designed in such a way that the first rays of the rising sun would fall directly on its sanctum. Even today, this place stands as a remarkable example of ancient Indian architecture, science, and unwavering faith. If you're visiting our channel for the first time, don't forget to subscribe and give this video a like, because your support motivates us to bring you even better content. So, is the temple we see today truly the Sun Temple built by Lord Krishna's son, Sambh? No, my friends. Historians say that the grand structure we witness today was actually built for the 4th time. The present-day Konark Sun Temple was constructed in the 13th century during the reign of the mighty king of the Ganga dynasty, Narasimhadeva I. This temple is a breathtaking example of Indian architecture and religious heritage, built in honor of the sun god. But its construction was not just driven by religious devotion. Behind it lies a story of deep inspiration. That inspiration came from Queen Mother Kasturi Devi. She gave her son, the great king Narasimha I, a message that would be remembered for eternity. She reminded him that his father had built the grand temple of Lord Jagannath, which remains a center of devotion and faith to this day. She said, "Life itself is unimaginable without the sun god. Build a magnificent temple that will keep the glory of the sun alive for ages. A temple that will showcase the power, grandeur, and prestige of the Ganga dynasty to the entire world." This was not just a religious request. It was a vow to immortalize the greatness of the Ganga dynasty and the glory of their empire. Inspired by his mother's words, King Narasimhadeva made a resolute decision to construct an unparalleled and timeless temple in Konark in honor of the sun god. This temple was to be built in the symbolic form of the sun's chariot. The king commanded his minister to search for the finest architect to undertake this magnificent project. After an extensive search, the minister chose the era's most skilled and renowned sculptor, Bisu Maharana, for this colossal task. Following the king's orders, the construction of the Konark Sun Temple began on the banks of the Chandrabhaga River. This historic temple was built between the years 1238 and 1264 AD. During this period, nearly 1,200 highly skilled artisans worked day and night, pouring their sweat, passion, and craftsmanship into shaping this architectural marvel. Bisu Maharana's expertise and his team's unwavering dedication stand as living proof of the advanced engineering of that era. They constructed this temple using sandstone. But the most remarkable feature was the way these stones were held together, by iron clamps, a technique now known as the modern iron lock system. This technology is a testament to the advanced engineering knowledge and technical brilliance of our ancestors. This temple stands not only as a symbol of religious devotion, but as a miraculous example of ancient India's art, science, and technical mastery, one that will continue to amaze and inspire for centuries to come. The temple's construction had reached its final stage. It was time to place the sacred pinnacle at the temple's summit, but no matter how hard the artisans tried, every attempt ended in failure. Time was slipping away, and King Narasimhadeva's patience had run out. In his fury, he issued a severe command. If the pinnacle is not installed before sunrise, every single artisan will be sentenced to death. The moment this news spread, a heavy silence fell over the construction site. Fear and despair gripped every soul. The chief architect, Bisu Maharana, bore the crushing weight of this crisis on his shoulders. Just then, from a distance, his 12-year-old son, Dharmapada, arrived at the site. He had taken his mother's permission to come and assist his father. As soon as he saw the situation, he turned to his father and asked, "Father, may I try to solve this problem? Will you allow me?" Dharmapada had grown up watching and understanding his father's art and engineering. In the dead of night, filled with unwavering confidence, this 12-year-old boy slowly climbed to the temple's summit. With his remarkable skill and precise calculations, he carefully and flawlessly placed the pinnacle atop the temple. A task that experienced artisans had failed to accomplish in 12 years, Dharmapada had completed in just a few hours. But after this extraordinary success, a deep fear crept into his heart. He knew that when the king found out that a 12-year-old boy had completed the task, he might deem the rest of the artisans unworthy and punish them. To save his father and the other artisans, Dharmapada made a heartbreaking decision. He climbed to the edge of the temple's peak and leaped into the Chandrabhaga River, sacrificing his life. At sunrise, when the king saw that the pinnacle had been successfully installed and the idol of the sun god stood tall in all its divine splendor, he was overjoyed. He declared that the temple's consecration ceremony would be held on the auspicious day of Magha Shukla Saptami. But as soon as the ceremony was completed, mysterious events began to unfold. A massive idol from the temple's summit suddenly came crashing down. One by one, stones started to collapse. When King Narasimhadeva learned that the temple's completion had begun with the sacrifice of a 12-year-old boy, he saw it as an ill omen. He immediately ordered that no worship or rituals be performed in the temple. For years, this magnificent temple remained abandoned. Over time, dense forests grew around it. This temple, a marvel of unparalleled artistry and architecture, also became an eternal testament to Dharmapada's ultimate sacrifice. The doors of the Konark Sun Temple have remained closed for the past 123 years. But the biggest question is, why were these doors sealed, and who did it? This story begins in the year 1903, when India was under British rule. At that time, the Lieutenant Governor of Bengal, J.A. Bordian, visited this historic temple. He saw the deteriorating condition of the temple and realized that this grand structure could collapse at any moment. To save it, he took an unusual step. He ordered the temple's sanctum to be filled with sand and had all its doors sealed. His reasoning was that the sand would support the internal structure and keep it stable. At that time, this decision was considered appropriate because technological resources were extremely limited. History remembers him for this act, but was it truly the right decision? Even today, this remains a topic of debate. Now, the question arises, why did no one attempt to open these doors even after India gained independence? Why, despite the availability of modern technology, has no one been able to enter the sanctum in all these years? In 2022, a new chapter began. The Archaeological Survey of India planned a restoration project to remove the sand from the sanctum. The goal of this project was to uncover the hidden secrets inside the temple and preserve its legacy. It is hoped that the government of India will soon complete the process of removing the sand and permanently reopen the temple doors. Today, when you visit the Konark Sun Temple, you can admire its breathtaking external architecture and intricate beauty. But its sanctum remains closed to the public. Yet the history, mysteries, and grandeur of ancient India hidden behind these locked doors continue to intrigue and captivate the minds of all who stand before them. Now, let's talk about the remarkable and mysterious architecture of the Konark Sun Temple. This temple is known not only for its magnificence, but also for its advanced engineering techniques. The 52-ton magnetic stone placed at its peak, which once maintained the balance of the entire structure, remains an unsolved mystery to this day. Inside the sanctum, the Ashtadhatu idol of Lord Surya, which is said to have floated in mid-air due to magnetic forces, was nothing short of a miracle. This idol was not just an artistic marvel, but a testament to the heights of ancient Indian science and technology. And then, there are the temple's massive wheels. They are not mere decorative elements. These wheels symbolize the chariot of the sun god and are designed with such precision that they function as a natural sundial. Even today, time can be accurately measured by observing the shadow cast by these wheels. This is not just an example of ancient Indian engineering. It is the extraordinary confluence of our culture, science, and astronomy, a marvel that the world is still trying to comprehend. Let us now dive deeper into these mysteries and uncover how this temple has stood as a symbol of our civilization's greatness for centuries. The Konark Sun Temple was designed in such a way that the first rays of the rising sun would directly fall on the idol of Surya Dev, enshrined in the sanctum. This incredible creation was built while considering the movement of the sun and the rotation of the earth. It was not just an architectural marvel, but also a testament to the scientific knowledge of our ancestors. The temple was constructed using sandstone and granite, making it strong and resilient against natural disasters. The durability of these materials and the precision of its design made this temple not only breathtakingly beautiful, but also exceptionally long-lasting. Even today, this temple stands as a reminder of the extraordinary wisdom and craftsmanship of our ancestors. Now, a question for you. Apart from the Konark Sun Temple, do you know of any other ancient sun temples in India? If you do, share their names and special features in the comments so others can learn about them too. Your contribution will be valuable for everyone's knowledge. Let's move forward. The Konark Sun Temple was built in the form of the celestial chariot of Lord Surya, symbolizing the movement of the sun god and the cycle of time. In Hindu Vedic tradition, Surya is depicted rising in the east, traveling rapidly across the sky in a chariot drawn by 7 horses. These 7 horses represent the 7 colors of the rainbow. However, due to time and invasions, today only 1 horse's statue remains. The 7 horses also signify the 7 days of the week, but astronomers reject this idea because the 7 days of the week have no direct connection to the sun. So the question arises, why is the chariot of the sun god specifically pulled by 7 horses? If you speak to the elderly locals of Konark, they share an intriguing insight. They claim that each horse was painted in a different color, just like the colors of the rainbow. As we know, the great scientist Newton discovered in 1666 that sunlight is not white but composed of 7 different colors. But this temple was built nearly 400 years before Newton's theory. So how did the ancient builders know that sunlight actually consists of 7 colors? And more importantly, why have historians never documented this astonishing fact in their books? One thing is certain, many of the great scientific discoveries of the world trace their origins back to ancient India. The temple features 12 pairs of wheels, representing the 12 months of the year. Each wheel has 8 spokes, and the time interval between every 2 spokes is exactly 3 hours. When these intervals are added together, they complete a full 24-hour cycle. This sun clock is read in an anti-clockwise direction, from 12 o'clock to 1:30, then from 3 o'clock to 4:30. Each 90-minute interval is divided into 30 smaller segments, with each segment representing 3 minutes. If you want to know the exact time, place your finger at the center of the wheel. The shadow of your finger will indicate the hour, while the segments will point to the minutes. This ancient sundial is a stunning example of astronomical precision and scientific brilliance. The most astonishing aspect of the Konark Sun Temple was its magnetic construction. Inside the temple, the idol of Lord Surya appeared to be floating in the air. The reason behind this was a 52-ton stone called lodestone, which functioned like a massive magnet. The magnetic field created around it kept the idol stable. At the temple's peak, a colossal 52-ton magnetic stone was installed, and the stones were held together using iron plates, something we recognize today as the iron lock system. This magnetic stone, in combination with the iron plates embedded within the temple walls, kept the entire structure balanced and stable. The idol of Surya Dev, made of ashtadhatu, a blend of 8 metals, appeared to float in mid-air due to the magnetic force. This technology stands as proof of the scientific and engineering brilliance of that era. The iron plates and magnetic stone together created a diamagnetic field, which gave stability to the idol. When foreign traders visited the temple and witnessed the floating idol, they were left completely astonished. This was undeniable evidence of the exceptional engineering and astronomical precision of ancient Indians. According to legend, the magnetic pull of this stone was so powerful that it interfered with the navigation of ships passing through the region. This disruption made sailing even more difficult for navigators. Compasses aboard ships near the temple would stop functioning. Many ships lost their way, and some even wrecked and sank. This unusual occurrence soon caught the attention of foreign traders and invaders. Because of this, Portuguese sailors named the Konark Temple the Black Pagoda. It is believed that, to protect their navigation systems, Portuguese sailors removed this powerful magnet from the temple's peak. They claimed to have loaded it onto their ship and taken it to their homeland. However, after the removal of this magnet, the temple's structural balance was disrupted, and over time, it began to deteriorate. This event remains a significant part of history and mystery to this day. Another story behind the destruction of the temple dates back to around the year 1568. A Muslim general of the Bengal Sultanate, Kala Pahad, launched attacks on several temples in Odisha. These temples included the Konark Sun Temple, the Kamakhya Devi Temple, and the Jagannath Puri Temple. Kala Pahad, whose original name was Kala Chandra, was once a devoted Vaishnav Brahmin. However, after falling in love with Sultan's daughter, Gulnath, he converted to Islam. If you wish to learn more about the mysteries of the Jagannath Puri Temple, you can watch its video on our channel and explore the wonders of our ancient temples and culture. Islamic texts that describe Kala Pahad's attacks mention that in the year 1565, the attack on the Konark Sun Temple caused immense destruction to this magnificent structure. According to the Badala Panji texts, when Kalapahad entered the temple, he saw the enormous idol of Lord Surya floating in the air. He was stunned by this sight. Consumed with rage, he and his army began attacking the temple's walls and main structure. Kalapahad managed to remove the 52-ton magnetic stone from the temple's peak. The moment this magnet was removed, the Grand Temple, standing 227 feet tall, slowly collapsed into a pile of stones. And then, in 1568, Odisha completely fell under Muslim rule. During this time, efforts to demolish Hindu temples intensified. It was during this period that the priests of Konark took action to save the idol of Surya Dev. They secretly removed it from the temple and buried it beneath the sand. Sometime later, the idol was transported to Puri and installed in the Indra temple, located within the premises of the Jagannath temple. However, some historians believe that the idol of Surya Dev, currently housed in the National Museum in New Delhi, is in fact the main idol of the Konark Sun Temple. This mystery remains unsolved to this day, and the debate around it continues. According to the Chinese traveller Huan Sang, in the 7th century CE, Konark was home to many grand and towering structures. It was a melting pot of different religions and sects, where Hindus, Buddhists, and people of other faiths lived together in harmony. In the 2nd century CE, the Greek geographer Claudius Ptolemy referred to Konark as Kanagara, a renowned maritime port of that time. Indian scriptures also mention it as Kainapara, which had been an important trade center since ancient times. Initially, some historians believed that the Konark Sun Temple was never completed and that it collapsed during construction. But the Kenduli copper plates and inscriptions associated with the reign of Narasimha Deva IV in 1384 CE dismiss this theory. These inscriptions clearly indicate that the temple was not only completed, but was also an active site of worship. Abul Fazl, one of Emperor Akbar's chief historians, visited Odisha in 1580 CE. In his book, Aini Akbari, he wrote that the Konark Temple was built by Narasimha Deva. The most intriguing fact is that Abul Fazl made no mention of the temple being in ruins. From this, we can conclude that in 1580 CE, the temple was still in good condition. According to the research of Thomas Donaldson, various surveys and repair records found in early 17th century texts indicate that the main damage to the Konark Sun Temple occurred between the late 16th century and the early 17th century. These records also make it clear that at the beginning of the 17th century, this temple was still an active place of worship. In the later part of the 18th century, the Aruna Stamba was removed from the Konark Sun Temple. Maratha ascetic Goswami relocated this pillar to the Singhadwara of the Jagannath Temple in Puri. Even today, this pillar stands there as a symbol of the historic connection between Konark and Puri. If we look at today's temples, we can see that they have become mere centers of faith and commerce. All deity idols are placed according to the convenience of visitors, and each idol has a donation box next to it, so devotees can drop in money. But if you observe temples that are 500 to 600 years old, you will notice a significant difference. Temples like Konark were not built just for faith. They were like encyclopedias, museums, or universities, designed to educate people. That is why calling the Konark Temple just a Hindu temple would not be entirely accurate. People from all religions could come here and learn something. So, my friends, this was the story of the Konark Sun Temple, a documentary based on its history, mysteries, and the advanced technology of ancient India. It doesn't matter if you don't like, comment, or subscribe to this video, but do share it with your friends and family so they too can learn about the science and technology of our ancient India. See you soon with another documentary. Until then, Om Suryaya Namah.